My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of How to Make a Killing. And okay, so funny story about this movie. I was going to see it Monday night, but it was snowing and I got real sick, so I skipped my screening. And I decided to just not see this movie because Psycho Killer also came out this weekend, and I'm a scary movie guy, so I was going to prioritize that one. But that movie is only playing in two theaters in my area, and they'll quite the drive. And number two, and more importantly, everybody despises that movie. Psycho Killer has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I thought to myself, I'll just go see this one. And I'm so glad I did. I thought this movie could have been a fine, enjoyable enough film, but I loved it. I thought this movie was just terrific, and it's going to be one of my favorite movies of 2026. And I just love it when a movie catches me off guard like this. It has only a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that to me is just insane because yeah, I really loved this one. So let's begin by talking about the cast. And Glenn Powell is incredible here. He just carries the movie so incredibly well, and he just brings this kind of old school movie star charm to his performance that was so desperately needed here. Like, he's playing a real despicable character who's only getting worse and worse as the movie progresses, but he brings a level of likability here and he just fully delivered. And then we've got Margaret Qualley, and I don't like using this word, but she's very sexy in this movie. She's very seductive, she's very twisted, and I loved what she brought here. She's not really in the movie too much, but she definitely leaves an impression. Jennifer Henwick, who I am not familiar with. In fact, I think I only know her from that Matrix movie a few years ago. What else is she in? Force Awakens, apparently. Glass Onion? Really? Love and Monsters? Like, she's just not an actress I've been paying attention to, but I thought she was just fantastic here. She is so charming and likable, and I kinda wish she was in the movie more. Then we've got Bill Camp, who ever since The Queen's Gambit is an actor on my radar, and this movie just showcases why. He is barely in it. He doesn't really have that much to work with, but he just brings a level of dramatic weight. He brings a level of guilt and regret to this movie that really does leave an impression. So, yeah, he really stood out. Then we've got, okay, there was one point where a character enters into the movie, and I'm like, is that Badger from Breaking Bad? And no, but I'm like, who is this actor? He looks so familiar, and it's Zach Woods, aka Gabe from The Office. And I loved his performance here. He is so funny and he's filled with personality and life, and I thought he just fully delivered. We then got Topher Grace, who is really great in his minimal screen time as well. He's quite funny. And Ed Harris, When was the last time Ed Harris was in a movie? I feel like it's been National Treasure 2, maybe? Hold on. Love Lies Bleeding. I forgot about that movie. And Top Gun Maverick. Okay. And Mother. Okay. Well, he's been in a few more movies than I thought he was recently. But still, he is such a great actor. And when he shows up, it was just the best kind of surprise. So, everybody is giving fantastic performances here. And I thought every character stood out. Whether it's because of their personality or the depth behind them, everyone felt fully realized. Everyone felt like a real person, and I just really loved that. And the story being told is just so damn great. It's always engaging. I was never bored for a single second of this movie, and I don't want to say too much, but it does go to some unexpected places. There's one little reveal near the end, which I just loved. I really did. But I was actually thinking to myself at like 70% through the movie has to end like this. If the movie ends like this, it will be the most perfect, brilliant ending, and sure enough, it did. I was very satisfied with the ending, and it's just going to be one that stays with me. It's going to be one that haunts me. And also because of the bad reviews, I was kind of expecting this movie to get bad at some point. I was just thinking to myself, okay, when is the movie going to dip in quality? And that moment just never happened. It's actually got quite a bit to say about morality and about having a conscience. It's about self-destruction. It's about if good people and bad people can coexist together. And it's also about contentment. And it's funny because I talk about contentment a lot because I work a construction job, and there's lots of opportunity for overtime. And some people just always want to work. They always want more money. Enough is just never enough. And I understand it if you need to support a family or if you're struggling. I get it, but there has to be a line where you're content. And I love the way this movie explores that. It kind of reminds me of Breaking Bad because you watch that show and you kind of look back and you just think to yourself, well, at what point did I stop liking Walter White? And it just makes for an interesting conversation. And you can have that same kind of conversation here. And also, this movie definitely reminds me of Succession in a very good way. It's also quite funny. It's definitely dark humor, but it made me laugh plenty of times. The movie has this odd, charming quality to it. And it's also kind of twisted in a very pleasant way. I don't know, this movie just fully worked for me. If I had any complaints, it's that I wanted more Margaret Qualley. It's that I wanted more Jessica Henwick. I would have been perfectly okay if this movie was 20 minutes longer, and that just shows you how much I loved it. Because I wanted more. I loved these characters, I loved the story being told, it's engaging and entertaining, it has a lot to say, it's funny and charming and kind of twisted, and it's got a seductive nature to it, and it just knocked it out of the park with the ending. I'm going to give How to Make a Killing an 8.5 out of 10. I mentioned at the beginning of this review that I almost skipped this movie, and I could have a whole conversation about how I'm trying to see less movies and how I have to make smart decisions about what movies to choose, because I'm glad I saw this movie. This movie was just terrific, but then I skipped mostly last month, and I watched it a few days ago, and I'm glad I skipped it. And I skipped one battle after another because that movie did not interest me at all. And maybe I'd love it, maybe I'd hate it. Like, it's so difficult to know what movies to skip and which ones to take a chance on. But this movie is worth taking a chance on. I can't recommend it enough. But How to Make a Killing. Have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.